Assalamualaikum everyone. In this video, we'll talk about an entirely different topic or entirely different subject, that is graph theories. Graph theory. This is a subject of computer science engineering, mostly in sixth semester, that is third year of second semester. Okay, so like see, you might have studied about graphs in discrete mathematics. You might also have studied about graphs in design analysis and algorithm, analysis of algorithm. So why are these graphs given so much of an importance in computer science? What is the use of graphs in computer science? Isn't it? And when was it first introduced? Who introduced this? And yes, what are the applications of graph theory in the real world? We'll discuss all these things at the end. Okay. To begin with, we'll go with the first unit. First unit is basically divided into two halves. The first half is the preliminaries, and the second half is the connected graphs and shortest paths. Okay, so the first half contains all these topics: graphs, what is isomorphism, subgraphs, matrix representation, degree, operations on graph, degree sequence. Okay, so we'll go one by one, the topics. See, these topics might look very easy, but it is important for you to know about these topics, because these topics, not all these topics, but some of the topics you need to know, because it might ask you in 2 marks questions, so you can score there. Okay, if you know about it, you can score it there. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's start with the topics. Okay, the first one is graphs. Let's see the definition of graphs. Okay, what is a graph? Graph is nothing but a set or a collection of vertices and edges. Okay, a graph is denoted with G, and it is nothing but a set of vertices and edges. Okay, vertices are denoted with V and edge is denoted with E, and vertices are also called as nodes. Okay, edges are also called as links. So graph is nothing but a set of or a collection of nodes and links. You can give many different definitions for graphs. This is one definition. The simple definition is nothing but a graph is nothing. Graph is denoted with the G, and it is a collection of vertices and edges, where vertices are denoted with E and edges are denoted with E. And one more definition, you can say that graph is a data structure which shows you the relationship among the data items. Here data items will be the vertices, and links will show you the representation. Link will show you the relationship among the data items. Okay, got the definition of graphs understood, right? Okay, let's see one example graph. Let's take an example. See here, suppose this is a graph. A, B, C, D and E. These are the vertices. Okay, so set of vertices, if they ask you, you need to write A, B, C, D and E. What are the edges? Suppose from A to B, the edge is suppose it is E1. So from B to C, it is E2. C to D, it is E3. Suppose from D to E, it is E4. So the set of edges will be now what? E1, E2, E3, E4, that's it. Okay, so from the diagram, you can say that edge is something that is going to connect two vertices. Okay, so edge is something that is going to connect two vertices. This is one vertex, this is one vertex, right? The edge is going to connect these two. Clear? Clear with the definition of graphs? Now, let's move on. Before moving on to this isomorphism or subgraphs, we'll see what are the different types of graphs. You have got many different types of graphs. These are the few that I listed here: null graph, directed graph, undirected, simple, multigraph, finite, infinite, connected, disconnected, regular, complete and cycle. Okay, these are the different types of graph. We have got Euler's graph, we have got Hamiltonian graph, we have got that graphs as well, but we'll learn about them as we come across the topics. We'll learn about them. Okay, so let me erase this and we'll start with these the type of graphs. Okay, depending upon the vertices, edges, connectivities, the overall structure, graphs can be divided into many different categories, many different types. Okay, we'll see the types of graph one by one. It is very simple. Okay, simple doesn't mean that you're going to skip it. You need to know the types of graphs in order for you to do the further calculations, you say, or further topics. If you want to understand the further topics, you need to understand the types of graphs. Okay, the first one, null graph. What is null graph? A graph that contains vertices but no edges. Okay? For example, suppose I've got V1, V2 and V3 as vertices. These are what? My vertices. But I've got no connections between the vertex pairs. Okay? There is no edge. There is no connectivity. Such types of graphs are called as null graphs. Okay? It is denoted with M, where M will give you the number of vertices. Here we have got 3 vertices, right? V1, V2 and V3. So this will be N3. It's a null graph which contains 3 vertices. Got? Simple. Next, directed graph. A graph that contains edges and vertices, and where the edges has got the direction. Okay? For example, let's say A, B, C, D. Suppose this is a graph given. Okay? And we have got directions here. Some way like this. Okay? These are the edges. So edges have got the directions. So this graph is called as directed graph. That means what? Directed graph. In a directed graph, जो direction दिया हुआ है आपको, you can only travel in that direction. See here, for traveling from A to B, you can only go from A to B. मतलब if you want to travel to vertex, ठीक है? You can only travel in this direction. You cannot travel from B to A. It's like a one-way road. Okay, you can only travel in one direction. You cannot come back in the other direction. Okay. Similarly here, B to C cannot be traversed. Only C to B can be traversed. Okay. B to A is not possible. Similarly, C to B can be traversed, but B to C cannot be traversed. Same way, C to D can be done, but D to C, no possibility. Got? It will give you the directions, and depending upon the directions only, you are going to traverse the graph. Okay, you are going to traverse the graph in the given direction. Clear? Now, the opposite of that will be an undirected graph. A graph that doesn't contain directions. Suppose you have got another graph. Suppose this is a graph given. You have got no directions. They are edges, they are vertices, but there are no directions given. So each vertex can be traversed in both the directions. Okay? Each edge, sorry. Suppose these are the edges given. Okay? So from A, we can traverse from A to B and B to A. Both the directions are possible. As there is no direction specified here, you can traverse in either of the ways. Okay, clear? Now, okay, the next comes simple graph. Simple graph मतलब क्या? A graph that contains no parallel edges, no loops, no self loops. ठीक है? आपके पास parallel edges भी नहीं होंगे. ठीक है? A graph where you have got no parallel edges and no self loops. ठीक है? These two are not allowed. Parallel edges क्या हो जाएंगे? Suppose I've got a vertex A and B. I've got a vertex A and B. This is one edge. Suppose I've got one more edge. For the same pair of vertices, I've got two different edges. Get it? So this is parallel edge. This is not allowed. Okay, for a simple graph. And the next is self loop. मतलब वही vertex को you are going to have a direction. मतलब you are going to have an edge to that vertex itself. Suppose this one. These are self loops which are not allowed in simple graphs. The graph is simple, only edges and vertices, no loops, no parallel edges. Okay, now we'll take an example. Suppose we'll take a very simple example. A, B and C, these are the three vertices and these are the pair of edges. Okay, I'm not marking the edges, but these are the edges. Okay, so if a simple graph is given, suppose this is a graph given to me. So the maximum number of edges possible, the maximum number of edges possible will be NC2. So how can you write this NC2? N into N minus 1 by 2. Suppose आपको एक question given है, suppose ये question given है, this is a graph given to you, this is a simple graph and it is asking you to draw all the possible edges from this graph. ठीक है, the graph, suppose the graph have got n vertices, ठीक है. In this case, what is n here? The vertices 1, 2 and 3. We have got 3 vertices. ठीक है. You need to find the maximum number of edges, and also you want to find the maximum number of simple graphs that can be formed using this pair of vertices. So you have got 3 pair of vertices, A, B and C. ठीक है. You need to find the maximum number of edges and maximum number of simple graphs. Okay. So this is the formula here. ठीक है, आपको ये ग्राफ गिवन है. ही इज सेइंग दैट यू हैव गॉट 3 vertices, 3 pair of vertices. You need to find how many possible edges, the maximum possible edges can be formed using this graph, using this vertices. And also is asking you how many maximum simple graphs can be possible. So this is the formula for finding the maximum edges. It is NC2. NC2 can be written as n into n minus 1 by 2. Let's do it with this. Here n is what? 3. 3C2 can be written as 3 into 3 minus 1 by 2. What is 3 minus 1? It is 2. 2 and 2 gets cancelled. We have got 3. So 3 edges are possible. Maximum edges are 3. 3 से exceed नहीं हो सकते आप. ठीक है? For example, this is only the example. This is one edge. This is one edge. This is one edge. You cannot have one more edge like this. You cannot have more than 3 edges. Whereas the case for maximum number of simple graphs, what is here? What's written here? 2 into n minus 1 by 2. Same thing, 2 power. This is what? 3. Now this is 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8. So 8 possible simple graphs. 8 possibilities. We can have 8 different types of simple graphs using these 3 vertices A, B and C. Let me draw and show you. Okay, so this is my vertex pair given A, B and C. So we know from the formula that maximum edges will be 3 and maximum number of simple graphs that can be formed are 8. Let's see one by one. Let the first one be without including any edges. And we know this to be as a null graph. ठीक है, एक ऐसा ग्राफ बनाएंगे हम जिसमें edges ही नहीं है. ठीक है, we are not going. Maximum are 3, minimum 0. Okay, so maximum 3. So we'll start from the minimum. Minimum 0 है, so we are not going to include. This is one kind done. Next, let's add one more. Suppose from A to B. This is the second one. Let's add one more from B to C or A to C. This is the third type. Similarly, we have got 3 edges, right? A, B, and C. Now, suppose if I want to add from B to C. Okay, possible. Then one more type can be 1 is done. Next, we'll take 2 edges, maximum of 2 edges in C. 1 and 2. A, B, and C. We'll take this edge and this edge. This is one more type. Now next, A, B, and C. Maximum edges are, the vertices are 3. Now, these 2 are done. These 2 are done. Let's take this 2. This and this. Okay. Now, the final one. The 2's are done. 0's are done. 1's are done. 2's are done. Then the maximum are 3. 3 edges ले सकते हैं maximum of. Okay. Let's take the final one. We'll get all the 3 edges. So see how many graphs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Condition satisfied. The maximum number of simple graphs can be 8. Okay, moving on to the next category, that is multigraph. Multigraph means a graph that have at least one loop and multiple edges. Multiple edges means what? Parallel edges. ठीक है? A graph that will have at least one loop and parallel edges. Such a graph is called as a multigraph. Done? This is an example here. See, this is my graph given where the vertex sets are, the set is A, B, C and D. A, B, C, D are the vertices. E1, E2, E3, E4, E5 and E6 are the edges. Now tell me what is the loop here? E6 is the loop. ठीक है? The C has got a loop to itself. And parallel edges, if we talk about, this is a parallel edge, E1 and E5. Because E1 and E5 are pointing, we have got an edge between the same pair of vertices. We have got 2 edges between the same pair of vertices. Right? So these are the parallel edges. Done. Next. Finite and infinite. Finite means what? A graph that has got a finite set of vertices. ठीक है? So this is my vertex set which is finite. ठीक है? एक point पर आके it is going to stop. Whereas in an infinite graph, the vertices, the vertex pair has got no end. It will continue till infinity. It has got no end. ठीक है? The vertex pair is not finite. Such a vertex is called as such a graph is called as an infinite graph. Clear? Next. The next is connected graph. Connected graph means what? A graph in which the vertices are connected. There is a path between each pair of vertex. ठीक है? At least one edge between the pair of vertex. Okay? For example, this is the graph. Suppose this is my graph G. Here, if you see, if I start at one point, I am able to traverse to the other point. Okay? There is a connection between the vertex pair. हर vertex के बीच में at least one edge you are having. ठीक है? Although there is no connection between A and F, but still I am able to traverse through the graph. Okay? Getting at least one edge, I told you. So no, it's not necessary that A should be connected to F. Okay? But a graph that can be traversed, that there is a connection between the graph, between the vertices. Clear? Now, disconnected मतलब क्या? A graph जिसमें आपके पास connection नहीं है. Here, this is one graph. But we have got two different components. This is one component and this is another component. There is no connection between these two. ये है पूरा आपका एक ही graph. Getting? We have got two different components. One with vertices A, B, C and D, and the other with E, F, G and H. ठीक है? Two different components. And these are not connected. If I start from A, I'm not able to reach to any point in the next component, E, F, G, H, any point. I'm not able to traverse to the at the end of the graph. I'm not able to do it. Okay? So connected, disconnected. The one that is connected, the one that is disconnected. Get it? Next. Okay. The next is regular graph. For understanding regular graph, you need to know what is a degree. ठीक है? Degree. Got a concept here. Got degree, right? Degree means nothing but the number of edges incident on a vertex. ठीक है? आपके पास एक vertex है, suppose B. इस पे कितने आपके पास edges is going to be incident? That is the degree. Suppose I've got 3 edges incident on B.
Suppose A, B and C. So here if you see the vertex V has got the degree 3. V is equal to 3. Similarly A has got the degree 1. A is equal to 1. Only it is connected to B. Similarly B, it's 1. C, it has got degree 1 as it is connected. The number of edges that is incident on a particular vertex is called the degree of that vertex.
Okay, we'll see the degree for each vertex. V की degree क्या है? A vertex की degree क्या है? ठीक है? Clear about the degrees? Okay, this is for an undirected graph. If a directed graph is given means what? Suppose this is your directed graph given. For vertex B, we'll see. For vertex B, what you will give the definition as? The number of incoming edges and outgoing edges. ठीक है? Incoming and outgoing. ठीक है? The short forms. तो आपका vertex B है, ठीक है? The incoming edges, this is the one that is coming towards B, and this is the outgoing, which is going out, which is going away from B. ठीक है? So this is nothing but this is the degree. Okay. For V, for the vertex B, what will be the degree? One edge is incoming and the one edge is outgoing. So 1 plus 1 is what? 2. बात वही है, but directions are also considered. अब सीधा हम ये नहीं बोल रहे कि the number of edges incident on B. We have to mention that incoming भी है, outgoing भी है. So we are just simply saying that the number of incoming plus the number of outgoing edges. बात वही है कि the number of edges incident on a vertex. Clear? Now coming back to regular graph. Regular graph हम किसको बोलेंगे? A regular graph is a graph in which each vertex has got the same degree. Each vertex, every vertex, ऐसा नहीं कि एक vertex की degree 2 है, एक की 3 है. No. If every vertex of a graph has got the same degree. Suppose, in this example, so we'll take the example here, A. A has got the degree as, we have got 2 edges. So the degree is 2. For B, the degree is 2. Same. And for C, the degree is 2 because 2 edges. So such a graph is called a regular graph. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे डिग्री, सपोज आई एम सेइंग एवरी वर्टेक्स हैज गॉट अ डिग्री k. सपोज आई एम सेइंग, आई एम नॉट स्पेसिफाइंग 2 है 3 है, देयर विल बी अ ग्राफ जहां पे आपके पास डिग्री 3 हो, हर वर्टेक्स की डिग्री 3 हो. सो सपोज if the degree of a vertex is k, then that graph will be called as a k regular graph. ठीक है, क्लियर. यहाँ पे डिग्री क्या है हमारे पास, हर वर्टेक्स की डिग्री क्या है 2, सो दिस विल बी अ 2 रेगुलर ग्राफ. ठीक है. अगर सपोज एग्जाम में आपको पूछा गया कि ड्रॉ 4 रेगुलर ग्राफ, मतलब क्या हो गया यहाँ पे कि हर वर्टेक्स को 4 डिग्रीज है, 4 एजेस कनेक्टेड है हर वर्टेक्स को. गेटिंग. 2 रेगुलर ग्राफ मतलब 2 रेगुलर ग्राफ मतलब हर वर्टेक्स को, ग्राफ में हर वर्टेक्स को यू हैव गॉट 2 डिग्रीज हर वर्टेक्स को. गेटिंग क्लियर. नाउ दिस इज डन. Same for this example. These are 2 different graphs. This is graph 1 and this is graph 2. यहाँ पर भी if you notice, P has got the degree 2, Q has got the degree 2, R has got the degree 2, S has got the degree 2, right? Suppose I've got one more H, suppose PQR is T, suppose. Here, this is not a regular graph now. Why? Because there is one vertex, they have got 2 vertex. Q की डिग्री हो गई 3 अभी, 1, 2 and 3, and T की डिग्री हो गई 1. 3 आपके पास ऐसे वर्टेक्स है जिसकी डिग्री सेम है, बट 2 ऐसे हैं जिसकी डिग्री डिफरेंट है. सो दिस इज नॉट अ रेगुलर ग्राफ. क्लियर. नेक्स्ट, नाउ कंप्लीट ग्राफ. Complete graph is a graph in which each vertex is connected to all the other vertices. ठीक है. Every vertex has got a edge between all the rest of the vertices. आप ये बोल सकते हैं इसके लिए. You can have one more definition. You can say that a regular graph is a simple graph which contains exactly one edge between all the other vertices. ऐसा भी आप इसको बोल सकते हैं. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose आपके पास एक graph given है this. यहाँ पे आपके पास 2 वर्टिसेस है, तो दोनों के बीच में you have to have an edge. ठीक है. सपोज और एक ले लेंगे हम यहाँ पे. दिस इज वन मोर ग्राफ. यहाँ पे आपके पास वर्टिसेस क्या है, A, B and C. तो every vertex should be connected to the other vertex. ठीक है. A should be connected to B and A should also be connected to C. Same way B should be connected to A, which is already done, and B should also be connected to C. Same way C should be connected to A and C should be connected to B. हर vertex को you are having a link between the other vertex. Getting? Okay. Next. तो हम इसको कैसे बोलेंगे? We can denote it with, this is denoted with K N, जहां पे N आपके vertices है. आप इसको कैसे बोलेंगे? You have got 2 vertices, so this is K2. You have got 3 vertices, this will be K3. We'll take one more example. Suppose we have got 4 vertices, A, B, C and D. ठीक है. तो complete graph का मतलब क्या है? The graph should be complete. हर vertex के बीच में हर edge, हाँ, हर vertex के बीच में edge चाहिए आपको. ठीक है. तो A should be connected to B, A should be connected to C, A should also be connected to D. Same way, B should be connected to A, B should be connected to D, B should be connected to C. Same way C should be connected to A, B and D. Same way for D should be connected to B, A and C. Clear? हर vertex के बीच में you are going to have a edge. Clear? Next. So this can be denoted as K4. ठीक है. अब आपको सवाल पूछा जाएगा कि सपोज ये कंप्लीट ग्राफ में कितने एजेस पॉसिबल है. ठीक है. व्हाट आर द नंबर ऑफ एजेस इन अ कंप्लीट ग्राफ? दिस कैन बी डन यूजिंग दिस फॉर्मूला n into n minus 1 by 2, जहां पे n हमको पता है, दैट इज द वर्टिसेस, जितने भी वर्टिसेस गिवन है. सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल आपको द क्वेश्चन इज गिवन लाइक फाइंड द नंबर ऑफ एजेस इन अ K10 ग्राफ. सपोज क्वेश्चन कुछ इस तरह है कि फाइंड द एजेस इन अ K10 ग्राफ. अब 10 क्या है यहाँ पर? वी नो दैट इट इज द वर्टिसेस, राइट. फॉर्मूला हमको ये यूज करना है. लेट्स पुट दिस इन द फॉर्मूला. 10, n is what? 10 here. n is 10. So 10 into 10, 10 into 10 minus 1 by 2. 2 ones are, 2 5s are 10. Now 5 into 9. 5 9s are, it is 45. तो आपके पास 45 एजेस हो जाएंगे. ऐसे ग्राफ में जिसमें आपके पास 10 वर्टेक्स है, 10 वर्टिसेस है, तो वैसे ग्राफ में आपके पास 45 एजेस हो जाएंगे फॉर अ कंप्लीट ग्राफ. ठीक है. अ ग्राफ टू बी कंप्लीट, we need 45 edges for a K10 graph. ठीक है? There is a difference between K10 and K regular. ठीक है? K regular is for regular graph and this is K10 is for the complete graph. Okay? K regular में यहाँ पे K is the number of degree. ठीक है? ये K different है, ये K different है. This is the number of degree and this K n is for complete graph जहाँ पे n आपके vertices है. उतना भी confusing नहीं है, but just I'm saying, I'm just stressing on this point के K regular graph अलग होता है and K n graph is different. Okay, done. Now the final is cycle. Let me just erase this. The last one is the cycle graph. Cycle graph मतलब क्या? A graph that contains a cycle. ठीक है? आप चाहे ऐसे बोले या you can give one more definition. A cycle graph is nothing but a simple graph with n vertices and n edges, and n should be greater than or equal to 3. We have got n vertices and n edges, where there is a condition given that this n should be greater than or equal to 3. ठीक है? Such a graph will be a cycle graph if and only if all its edges forms a cycle. Its edges forms a cycle of length n. ठीक है? I'll write here length n. ठीक है? ये और की definition हो सकता है. Simple graph that has n vertices and n edges where n is greater than or equal to 3 forms a cycle graph if and only if every edge forms a cycle of length n. Oh, sorry, not every edge, all the edges together forms a cycle of length n. ये एक definition हो सकता. Let's understand this with an example. And yes, one more point here. Each edge will have degree 2 and cycle graphs are denoted with Cn. ठीक है? Cn. One primary condition that we need to remember is that the number of vertices is equal to the number of edges. वो कितने हैं? Is equal to n. Okay, it should be equal to n. मतलब क्या है? The number of vertices and edges both are equal. In what? In a cycle graph. It is denoted with Cn. Okay. Suppose there is a question given. Find the number of edges in C10 graph. एक C10 graph आपको given है. You need to find the edges. Number of edges. अब आप इसको कैसे find करेंगे? The condition given here is the number of vertices and the number of edges are equal. अगर vertices आपके पास 10 हैं, तो edges भी कितने हो जाएंगे? 10, right? That's it. Clear? These are the simple questions can be asked for 2 marks. For a complete graph, we saw what the number of edges will be. Suppose there is a K9 graph or K8 graph. आपको इसके edges find करना है. We know the formula as n into n minus 1 by 2 is the number of edges possible. And for here, the condition is the edges and vertices are equal. तो अगर आपके पास 10 vertices होंगे, तो edges कितने होंगे? 10, right? Okay. Example for this can be here the n should be either equal to or greater than. We'll take first equal to. A, B and C. यहाँ हो गए 3 vertex, right? So अब ये 3 vertex मिलकर क्या बनाना है? एक cycle. Suppose I'm starting with A, going to B, then C, then वापस A. So it is forming a cycle. और इसको मैं बोलूँगी C3 graph. Okay? The cycle is formed how? AB, BC, CA. अब AC, CB, AB भी बोल सकते हैं. The can have alternate paths. Okay? Next, let us take 4. Suppose A, B, C and D. ये graph है आपके पास. So the cycle graph will be how? 1, 2, 3, 4. It should form a cycle. It should be circular. It should have a cycle. Getting? इसको मैं बोलूँगी C4 because the number of vertices are 4. And the path that I chose is AB, BD, DC, CA. Okay? Clear? We'll take one more example. Suppose we'll take 5. A, B, C, D, E F. Sorry, not F, A again. So this is forming a cycle. How many vertices do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this will be denoted as C5. Suppose he can ask you draw a graph, C5 graph. So you need to draw a C5 graph. Suppose kali itna hi bola. So here we know this cycle graph is denoted with Cn. तो मतलब क्या है? You need to draw a cyclic graph of n vertices. Sorry, 5 vertices. Okay, यहाँ पे 5 mention है, 5 vertices. And edges will also be 5. Getting clear? Now, the types are done. Now let's move on to another topic.
As the video is getting a little lengthier, I'll be splitting the unit into portions, part 1, part 2 and part 3. So watch my part 2 to know the rest of the topics.